The bedroom floor just collapsed, and my brother-in-law is in there, and he's underneath the house.
Right now at 10, it's the kind of thing you expect to see in a horror movie, not in your neighbor's yard. A giant sinkhole swallows up a man's bedroom, taking him along with it. Plus, how to stop a sinkhole before it starts, what you can do right now to save yourself big trouble down the road. And those controversial red light cameras are no more in one part of Florida, so will other counties follow their lead?
You're watching Fox 13, and the 10 o'clock news starts now.
Good evening, I'm Cynthia Smoot in for Kelly Ring.
And I'm John Wilson. Thank you for being with us tonight. All right, we continue to follow this incredible developing story out of Seffner, where the unthinkable happened to a man inside his home. 36-year-old Jeff Bush is presumed dead after he and his bedroom were swallowed by this giant sinkhole that is still unstable almost 24 hours after it happened. It was about 11:30 last night on Faithway Drive in Seffner. Bush's brother Jeremy then ran in and desperately tried to save his brother's life.
I jumped in the hole and tried digging him out, and I couldn't get him. All I could hear was, I thought I could hear him screaming for me and hollering for me to help him. I couldn't do nothing.
When the ground began to crumble around him, Jeremy also had to be rescued from the hole by a Hillsborough County deputy. And Fox 13's Stef DiPietrantonio is there at the house tonight. You know, Stef, it's hard to believe it's been this long now. They still haven't been able to get to this man, who is presumably crushed under a lot of sand and dirt by now.
He is presumed to be dead, John, that is for sure. And, you know, they brought in some bright lights. Take a look. There was some talk that they might try to work through the night, but it is just not safe. This is a complex collapse that is continuing to evolve and to sink. And now the question is when and if they can ever get back inside his house.
I just want my brother out. I don't care what they got to do.
Jeremy Bush and his family are frustrated. No way to remove his brother's body safely from the sinkhole that took his life late Thursday night.
There is a very large, very fluid mass underneath this house, rendering the entire house and the entire lot dangerous and unsafe.
Even the slightest vibration could trigger a massive collapse. Impossible for now to recover 36-year-old Jeff Bush's body.
This is actually unprecedented.
Engineer Larry Madrid says the hole is 20 to 30 feet around. It started at 15 feet deep, then sunk to 25 feet deep.
We've determined that there was an initial collapse, followed very shortly by another collapse, and we have noticed movement in the ground since then.
It's deepening, and as the steep walls of unstable, soft and sandy soil continue to collapse, the entire house may be swallowed up.
Given the size of the hole, I cannot tell you why it has not collapsed yet.
The sinkhole was still collapsing as Hillsborough Deputy Doug Duvall pulled Jeremy Bush out Thursday night.
The only thing that I saw was a hole, and the hole took the entire bedroom.
I could have swore I heard him holler my name to help him, and I couldn't get to him.
Duvall could see Jeremy Bush clinging to the sides.
I looked and I saw no one else in the hole.
Rescue crews have been using equipment sensitive enough to hear a mouse walk across the floor, but still nothing.
My heart goes out to the family.
Hillsborough County Administrator Mike Merrill says they're doing everything they possibly can, but this is not your typical sinkhole. It's a honeycomb of a chasm. Neighbors close by have been evacuated.
The only thing that would be worse than what they're feeling now for their loss would be to experience additional human loss.
He's in the Lord's hand. He's in God's hand.
So you can imagine the family's pain and frustration now that they have called off any further recovery efforts here tonight. It is just not safe, and some of the rescue workers have actually been on site almost 24 hours, so they need a break. At first light, they're going to try to, again, redefine where that soft zone is and how close they can get, because you never know how close they can. The area right below their feet could just implode there, John.
You know, it's an eerie sight here, Steph, to see this house standing behind you there and not knowing if that house is going to be standing in the morning or not, because the last thing we heard, there was still some movement going on there.
There is still movement, they believe, going on, John. In fact, you'd never know it looking at the house. It looks perfectly fine just standing there, but they estimate there's a 20-foot circle around the entire house, that the soil is very soft. You go about 25 to 50 feet below the house. It's a mix of sand and clay, even softer. They said the house could sink into the hole, and they're just not sure why it hasn't happened yet.
What an incredible development here with this chasm that's larger than any sinkhole we've seen here. Long time, right?
That's for sure, John.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of the first times I've ever reported that someone was killed in a sinkhole. We've certainly heard of people losing their property and lots of other things, but a human life taken by a sinkhole, I think this might be a first.
Well, Steph, thank you. Thank you very much. We want to show you one of the real heroes here tonight. That's the first deputy who got to the scene. You saw him a minute ago. Let's listen again to Deputy Douglas Duvall describe how he rescued the brother of the man trapped in that sinkhole.
I entered the house. We really didn't know what was going on from our dispatch call. All we had was a 911 call that had the basic layout that somebody was trapped under a house. When I went into the house, the family was outside. Everybody was upset. I entered, I went into the hallway, and when I turned into the bedroom, the only thing that I saw was a hole, and the hole took the entire bedroom. I looked down, and I saw Mr. Bush, Jeremy Bush, in the hole, and he was on the sides trying to get out. The deepest part of the hole, you know, I was looking, you could see the bed frame, the dresser, everything was sinking. I reached down around floor level, kind of like you're sticking your hand into the floor, got Mr. Bush by his hand and pulled him out. I looked and I saw no one else in the hole.
Well, there's a deputy who needed a lot of help, and he didn't have much. Deputy Duvall says when firefighters did get there a few minutes later, they determined that the house was not safe to be in from that point forward, and everybody was then told to get out and stay out.